Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you another week's weekly reading vlog. So this one, nothing crazy is happening, just reading. And I have got some big goals. So let's see if you can help me retrospectively, I guess. Let's see if you can help me meet them. The first book that I need to read is The Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Wisemer. I started this in last week's vlog, a bit on a whim. It's not on my TBR. It's on my project TBR Cleardown, but not my monthly TBR. I'm 46 pages in. I was expecting to get a little bit further, but I'm gonna hopefully storm through this tonight. The other book I need to read tonight is Bingsu for Two by Soojin Witherspoon. This is a YA romance about Korean cafes, and I am definitely interested in reading it. This is actually my Patreon buddy read for the month, so I need to read how many pages today? 52, and it's YA contemporary, so I feel like that is definitely achievable. So that is on the TBR for the day. For the rest of the week, I did pick out 3 books that I wanted to have read. We'll see how it goes. We have A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey. We have So Happy For You by Celia Lasky, and we have A Death at the Party by Amy Stewart. All 3 of these are very short books. I think everything is, if it hits 300 pages, it's only very slightly over. So these are all evening reads. They should be. We'll see how this goes. I'll keep you updated. Hello. Well, God, I look a bit worse for wear today. There's only really weird places I can... Sorry, I just had to wait for my work phone to ring out because I will not tell you what time it is in the morning, but I turned my work laptop on so that I could just look at a few emails before I start, and the second my Teams would have flicked to available, I got a phone call. I'm not online yet. Sorry. No. I'm in my pajamas. I'm comfortable. I'm literally in my pajama bottom still. I just wanted to come in and tell you about my reading. So yesterday I did read the whole of The Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Wisemer, and I liked it. Overall, I did give it 3 stars. I think there are some major flaws in this book, in the nicest possible way. There's definitely some parts of this that could have done with some more heavier editing, and that sounds really brutal, I'm sorry. I've read a lot of YA contemporaries now, and yeah, there was just a few things that didn't seem to make sense. Okay, I've now set myself to do not disturb because the same guy called me back. I'm not online yet. Genuinely, I hadn't even finished filming the clip. Okay, I don't know why my face looks irritated. I did a face mask last night and my skin didn't seem to like it. Anyway, why am I still talking? I liked the story in this book. There were a couple times in the story where I feel like we jumped between locations and scenes and conversations, and it didn't quite make sense how we got there or what we were supposed to be doing or how the timings fit. Like how we were doing school, then this volunteer, then we were having dinner, and then it wasn't already 5 in the morning. A couple of little niggly things that I was confused by. However, the story was pretty good. We're following Meredith, who is the preacher's daughter, and she and her friend make a pact that by the end of their senior year, they are going to have lost their virginities, because they're like 18 and they're like, we're doing everything, we're being like goody two shoes, let's not do this anymore. Not that I'm saying that's what we should be doing, but that is what the pact is. Then Meredith meets a guy, Sam. They were friends when they were little, they haven't spoken in a few years, so they start hanging out. Obviously, when there is a secret pact involved that someone has hand signed in a high school, we know what is going to happen to that. We know that people are going to see it, and then that is the downfall that comes to these characters, is that everything that they have secretly agreed to becomes public. There were quite a few things in this that I won't spoil because I feel like they are like the big dramatic pieces of this book, but we have like 2 side points I just think could have been so much better, could have been so much more detailed and heartbreaking. I'm really glad they were issues that were talked about, particularly one of them, but I just feel like I needed more. So anyway, that was all very negative sounding, but 3 stars. This was a pretty good book. And then this morning already I have buddy read my pages for Bingsu for Two, so I've read 2 lots of buddy read sections. I'm on page 101, and yeah, it's cute. I don't know if I'm gonna feel more than cute as we progress. I think it is just gonna be cute. I'm fine with cute. I needed a brain break, so this is probably gonna be that break I need. But yeah, nothing profound about this now, it's just cute. So plan for the day, I'm gonna read the entirety of So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. That is my non-negotiable. I'm gonna do that tonight. In the day, I was thinking about an audiobook. I actually have quite a lot to do today, so I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try my best to get through at least an audiobook this week at some point. My phone is still ringing, so I need to go see what sort of absolute accounting emergency has happened. Time to start the day. I need to need to get ready. Can't be answering calls. Hello. I have 2 deliveries here that I'm really excited about. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet in a vlog, but all I've been watching on YouTube lately is people unboxing entire advent calendars, and I decided I wanted to be part of that group. So I bought 2 advent calendars just to open them on my channel, and I'm really excited about it. So this one is potentially the one I'm more excited for in terms of the value of the advent calendar and things I would always want to buy anyway. Okay, so there is a spoiler on the back of the box, which is very annoying, and it tells you everything that's inside. Why you would want that, I don't know. Oh, this feels like luxury. Okay, it smells amazing too. But it is the Kath Kidson advent calendar. So I'm going to be opening this. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. I'm a massive fan. And yeah, it does tell me on the back everything that's inside. So I'm gonna very carefully ignore that. But this is really cool. It is a little bit squished from postage, but I'm a massive fan. So I will be opening this. Maybe tomorrow. I wanted to do it when I looked nice. And also I need to get my nails done. I'm getting them done tomorrow. So I want to save that. This one, I don't have as high hopes for because the box is very squished. And this is a very random advent calendar, but I saw a few of the items and I was like, oh, I want it. So I didn't want to get one where I would waste the insides. Okay, this box is mostly packaging, but our second one is the Winnie the Pooh advent calendar. 24 days cosmetic advent calendar, bath and body edition. So I'm also going to be doing the Winnie the Pooh advent calendar unboxing. This one does just tell you what's inside. It doesn't show you as a spoiler. This is gorgeous. I'm really excited about this. So those are my 2 projects coming up. Just to show you, this is all packaging. I mean, it's great because I did need some plain brown paper for something else I was doing, so I do need that. However, I have 2 advent calendars. They now need to sit there for an entire day because I will not film the video with my unwashed hair and my undone nails. So these are being done. I mean, I could. I just don't want any mean comments about my nails. They are pretty bad. It's the day before I go in. But like, I am very tempted to just film one today anyway. Also, I'm probably gonna have to do it panning down the entire time. I don't think you'll be able to see me because I'll need 2 cameras. I think I can do it. I'm gonna try my best with this, but yeah, I'm really excited to open these. Hello. It is Wednesday morning and I am just tired. But that seems to be a permanent state of existence. So anyway, I got up this morning and I read my buddy read pages of Bingsu for 2, and I'm 150 pages in now. This is just cute. I'm not like getting anything more out of that, and that's okay, but I'm not like absolutely obsessed with this. I think it's probably going to come out at a 3-star depending on what happens. But yeah, it's a good book. It's fine. I also DNF'd a book last night, which is not good for my overall reading stats, but it's good for Project TBR Cleardown. I no longer would like to read So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. Something about the tone of how this was written just really didn't sit well with me. Everything was just a bit like whingy. I don't know how to explain it. Going on to Goodreads, it has an average rating of like a 3.3. And I know that we don't trust Goodreads ratings with everything, but they are often representative of how I feel. Most of the time my views line up with Goodreads. So I don't even know how far I got into this, maybe like 50 pages, and just nothing about it was really pulling me to it. So it's gone. We're not reading it. We don't have to. Life is too short. My nails are still awful, like I haven't had them done, but I really want to open the Winnie the Pooh advent calendar today, so I feel like I might do it. Hello, me again. Same day, it's still Wednesday. I am trying to be more brutal with the books that I keep, which is something you would have seen in all the vlogs, all the unhauls, everything. I was looking at my Twilight collection last week or the week before, and for some reason I was holding on to this version and I don't need it. This is the 10th anniversary special edition with Life and Death attached on the other side. I bought this for £1. Genuinely £1, because it was in Poundland when everything was a pound. 2015. I don't need this. I really don't. I've read Life and Death now. It wasn't that great, and that's the same copy of Twilight that's in every Twilight. So another copy of Twilight gone. I now only have 3 versions. Wow. So many updates from me this morning. Aren't you spoiled? I just got this box in the post, which has come from the lovely Becca over at Becca Fowl. She has packaged this rather well because I can't get in. And here we have it. She was just making sure that I had all of the books I needed for this series that she was unhauling. So we have A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This, I forget how this series works in terms of like what comes when, but it is effectively part of the From Blood and Ash series, and this is the first one that I didn't have. I've read From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I have A Crown of Gilded Bones and The War of Two Queens, but yeah, this is the first one that I didn't own. So Becca has lovingly sent it my way. Thank you, Becca. I appreciate you a hell of a lot. Hello, hello. It is Thursday morning and I have bookish updates. I'm also going to film my December TBR, so I have massive stacks of books here to talk about, which now I've pulled them all off the shelves, it's actually ridiculous. It is definitely impossible, but I have just multiple things I need to talk about. In terms of reading over the past couple of days, so yesterday I did finish The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkorf. I don't know if I told you I was reading this actually. I definitely pulled it off my shelves because I knew the audiobook was available. So I listened to this while I was working yesterday and then finished it off in the evening. But we're following Wiley, who is a true crime author. And she's kind of gone to this remote cabin to really focus on writing her book. But then there's a storm that kind of traps her in this cabin, and she goes outside and there's a small child in the driveway, a crashed truck on the road, and a woman that is injured and then goes missing. So there's a lot going on in this one. I don't want to say more about the story because I feel like that is spoilers. I've given it 3 stars. It was fine. Genuinely fine. So a lot of this, as I was going through, it was very predictable. So there is also a dual timeline in this. We go back to 2000, where there is a young girl whose whole family, her mom and dad, get killed, and her best friend and her brother go missing. And I really liked how those stories combined, but I also thought it was really predictable. So I read this one. I didn't dislike it, but I just don't think it was my next new favourite thing. It was fine. I've also been cracking away with my buddy read of Bingsu for Two. I'm now on page 204 and definitely on track to finish this. I'm finding this such a nice way to start my day. 50 pages of this is very, very easy and I can do it in like 20 minutes. So yeah, definitely not much brain power required for this book. So that does mean I'm enjoying it because there's not much brain power, but I also don't think I'm going to love it. We'll see. Then one that does take some more brain power, and I've started the audiobook. I don't know how much more I'll listen to today, but yeah, I have been listening, is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I only have 3 classics left on my shelf. I have this one, I have Pride and Prejudice, and I have Jane Eyre. Both of those I have read before, but this was my last unread classic, and I'm finding that I was getting a hold of a lot of classics because I felt like I had to read them. However, I know now that I don't have to read them. So I'm trying my best to enjoy them, see what happens, but I'm not holding myself accountable to be like, to be a reader, you have to love classics. So yeah, I am cracking on with this one. I absolutely love the movie with Benjamin Barnes. So I might have made up his name, with that guy in it. That was one of my favourite movies as a teenager, and I actually didn't understand it. So yeah, I am interested in reading this story, but it's just not, like, I've accepted classics aren't 100% my thing. So we'll see how it goes. I did get my nails done last night. Big fan of these, really big fan. Look how shiny my ring looks today, jeez. But yeah, big fan of these nails. So tonight it is Patreon reading sprints. I did also start actually A Death at the Party by Amy Stewart, and I was enjoying it. I only read like 30 pages. Something about the main character's energy I'm not loving, so we'll see how it goes. I want to give it to at least page 100 before I give up on it, but I am also reading that, so I presume I'll be reading that in sprints. Okay, I need to get on to all of the other things I need to do today, all of the work I need to do today, but for now that is a book update, and I will let you know what I read later. Hello. I'm still working. There is a lot going on today. I am a quarter of the way through The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I don't know what's happening. I've listened to 2 entire hours of this audiobook, and I can tell you that there is a guy called Dorian Gray. I think I just need to stop pretending. I would love to be a classics person, but I am not a classics person, and that's okay. A classic romance I can do. I like the stories of Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice particularly. I think though I know the story off by heart, so reading it isn't too challenging. This isn't me, and that's okay. I've tried, but I'm gonna cut my losses. and this is a gorgeous copy, so I hope this makes someone incredibly happy. But for now, Dorian Gray is a go. My next audiobook is probably going to be some smut, so I'll tell you about that at another time, but I'm going to listen to music now for the rest of the day. Hello. It looks really late from all the lighting. It's because I've just got like the artificial light in this room. It's pitch black outside. It's like a full storm. Perfect reading weather. But I'm actually going out for dinner tonight. Well, I say out. I'm going to a friend's house for dinner. How do you ever explain like the older friends that you have? Because John and Sarah, they used to be my old bosses in like my first job, and literally the job I had when I started YouTube. And they quite often like to cook for me, and we have glasses of wine, and it's very, very lovely. So yeah, I'm going there for dinner. But then when I talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to my friend's house for dinner. Like it feels like I don't know, it feels like I need to explain it more. I'm rambling. I'm going to my friend's house. John is going to come pick me up because of the storm, and so that I can have a few glasses of wine and not worry about my car. But while I'm getting ready, I say that, I'm in my clothes, I've been working in all day. I did just finish Bingsu for Two by Sujin Witherspoon, and I actually didn't need to finish this until Sunday for the buddy read, but I just kind of powered through because I was on a bit of a roll with it. It's very easy to read in 50-page chunks, so I just carried on. Unfortunately, like I was reading this whole thing thinking I was going to give it a 3 because it was just fine. It wasn't offensive in any way. But by the time I got to the end, I'm kind of a bit like, ugh about it. I'm kind of done with it. So I think I'm actually going to go down to a 2.5, which I didn't dislike this, but it just was all a bit convenient. So we're following River, whose parents own a chain of Korean like cafes, and he is made co-manager of a new store, which he puts in the same location as Bingsu for Two, which is another family-run Korean cafe, because he wants to make them go out of business. But on this one day, he decides he's had enough of Cafe Gong, which is his family's, and he quits his job and secretly starts working for Bingsu for Two. There's then a whole social media campaign that he sets on to improve Bingsu for Two's business, and eventually he can't keep this a secret from his parents anymore. I just feel like for a YA, these kids were not in school. So they were school age, he just did his SATs. Maybe did he finish the school year? I don't know, but like school was forgotten very early on. These kids were working so much, I cannot work out when they were supposed to be at school. Everything was just very, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but something about how it was written, it's just like it needed one more go through an editor, like just to refine it a little bit. I know nothing about editing or publishing or whatever, but I just needed something a little bit more, and it didn't have it. So I finished that one. And Death at the Party I have over there. I'm now going to get dressed and ready to go so that I can wait for John to turn up. But while I'm waiting, I will sit and read A Death at the Party and hopefully get that finished. I have about 20% of that left. So I've been moving between the physical copy and my Kindle. So I will just sit with my Kindle and keep going. But yeah, that is what I'm currently doing there. I need to get dressed. I'm literally in sweatpants. So I need to get ready to go out and like brush my hair and sort my face out. I don't know. Hello. It is now Saturday, well afternoon actually, it's about 1 o'clock. I've had a very lazy start to the day, and I'd like to say I'm okay with that, but I'm not, because I was like, I'm gonna be really productive this weekend, I'm gonna go do something fun, and I've not done that. I've kind of just been lazy. However, I am thinking of heading to Birmingham tomorrow to check out the Christmas market. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna do that, but I'm thinking about it. So while it's a little niggly thing in my brain, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. Reading. I did finish A Death at the Party last night after I got back from my friend's house, and I've given this 2 stars. This was a very boring book, I'm sorry to say. This is genuinely following a guy who dies at a party, and 90% of the book is the setup to the party. The actual death in itself is not very exciting or interesting, and yeah, I didn't enjoy this. I don't think I actually have many positive things to say. I guess it was written in a very easy way, which is why I managed to get through 300 pages of a book I wasn't enjoying. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. I don't know if anyone else has read this that is in my little community here. Please let me know if you have and what your thoughts and feelings were, because I didn't think this was that great. Sorry. sorry. Plan then, I had just got myself set up on the sofa and I was going to sit and read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca, which I'm trying not to let those... There you go, that's the cover. It's printed inside the book. This is actually the one with And Other Misfortunes, so there are some different stories in here too. I have my little Wizard of Oz bookmark in here, which I do really enjoy. But I did just sit down and start reading this and I was like, oh no, I need to make some progress on my life today. I need to be productive because I'm going away for work on Monday. I'm away for effectively 2 weeks, only coming back on the weekends. And then I'm back for 5 days and then I go to America. So I really need to have this place looking like perfect. I don't need to be worrying about coming back and like cleaning and tidying and whatever. So I really need to make this place as perfect as it possibly can be. There's a few more things I want to upload to Vinted, to Sal, that I want to get done. So yeah, just a couple little bits I want to run around. So I'm thinking, get in the shower, get myself like perfectly fresh and sorted, nice clean outfit, comfy, and then blitz this place. So not that it needs blitzing, like you can kind of, it doesn't look it from this angle because that is the Christmas corner over there, but it is okay. It's definitely the tidiest it's been when I've had one of these moments, but I'm just like, no, let's get it 100% perfect, and then maybe I can invite people around tomorrow. I don't know, I could do something fun. Saying that, the audiobook I've currently got is Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and the reason why, so I am really torn. I read Hooked and I read Scarred not that long ago, and I decided because of that I'm gonna have to move my sign. I really wanted the copies of Wretched, Twisted and Crossed, so that I had the whole series. However, I don't remember absolutely loving these. I don't know what in my brain said that I needed this entire series of books. I think, were they just hyped and I thought it'd be a good idea? Yeah, I'm not really sure what drew me to these. I'm not getting rid, I'm not unhauling, I'm not making any rash decisions right now. But I am also really struggling to find an audiobook for the books on Project TBR Cleardown. So I found Hooked and I was like, why don't I just listen to it again, see how I feel about it, and maybe I can listen to the whole series in audiobook form by the end of the year. Maybe I could do that, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna have a shower, then I'm gonna listen to Hooked while I blitz around the apartment, and when I'm done, I'm gonna go back into my Eric LaRocca. I've only read like 4 pages of this, and I definitely like it the most out of all Eric LaRocca I've read. I can already tell you that. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading this one actually. So that's the plan. I've told you the plan 5 times. Why am I gonna repeat myself again? Shower, audiobook and clean, Eric LaRocca. Let's do this. Hello. It's been an entire day, and I have cleaned this place as much as I ever have. Really happy with my apartment. Got my bag packed ready for the week, going away with work. Got a few more bits to put in that I need, like electrical stuff and toiletries and stuff, but my bag is packed, outfits are sorted, flat's clean. What more could we want? I listened to the entirety of Hooked while I did that, and originally I gave this 3.5 stars and said it's trash but it's fun trash. And I'm happy to say I agree. It's trash but it's fun trash, and it's about 3.5 stars in a rating. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and we're following Wendy and Hook basically. I actually enjoyed this. I gave it the same rating, but I think I enjoyed the story more the second time I read it. I was able to really, you know, just get on with my day and listen to this, and I think that made it quite a fun, like, smutty thing to be listening to while I was doing the hoovering. 3.5 stars. It's not like a profound book by any means, but I did have a good time with it. So then I've actually straight away downloaded Scarred, and this is book 2, and I actually read this just over a year ago. I think it was August last year. I'm giving it another go so soon because I don't want to move on to number 3. This one I read in January last year, this one in like August. So I didn't want to just jump straight to book 3. I wanted to go back through book 2, even though they're all just companion books. So I don't know how much more I will listen to of this, like, today. I've got to about 40 pages in just while faffing about and doing different bits and bobs, but yeah, this is the next audiobook on the go. I'm really thinking about what to do tomorrow, and about whether I should do anything like crazy. Not that anything's crazy, but like, would it be really fun to go and have a beer at the German market on my lonesome, or would that be really depressing? I don't know. So I think I'm probably gonna not, knowing myself, but I also feel like I need to do something. Or do I just sit here and read all day? I don't know. I can't make my mind up. I really can't. For now though, I don't even know what time it is because I've just been cracking on. I've even submitted my tax return. I've done so much like little things today that didn't need doing, that I've done my tax return that was due in January. So yeah, for now, make another fresh cup of tea and maybe actually start the Eric LaRocca book that I meant to start about 8 hours ago. Hello. It is Sunday and somehow it's already 12:30. I'm not really sure how that happened. I slept in again until 9. I'm sleeping in so long. I think that's because I'm literally thinking about tomorrow morning. My taxi is picking me up for work at 6 AM. So I'm getting all the sleep I can this weekend. While I've been just awake and doing things, I've edited my December TBR, I've done like some life admin, just bits and bobs. I've been listening to Scarred by Emily McIntyre, and seeing as I only picked this up to just listen to it a little bit, I'm now on page 267, so I am predicting that this will be done by the end of the day. These books are just so easy to listen to, so I'm thinking, where are they? They're just here. I think I probably am going to move on to the rest of them during the week, like when I need something. Like I could listen to this on my drive in the morning and I could be done with it pretty much by the end of the day. Like these are just so fast. So yeah, I've been listening to Scarred. This morning I finished off Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes by Eric LaRocca, and I read most of this yesterday. So this is made up of 3 different stories. It's got Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, The Enchantment, and You'll Find It's Like That All Over. Those are the 3 things. The actual Things We've Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, 4.5, 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. It is told in email form and it is emails between 2 women. The whole thing starts with someone trying to sell a vintage apple peeler and it turns into somebody nurturing a tapeworm. I genuinely, that's all I need to say. It was deranged. It left me feeling physically nauseous, and yeah, I'm really glad I read it. Genuinely, I have DNF'd or 1-starred all Eric LaRocca that I've read, but that one story, 4.5, 5 stars. The next one, The Enchantment, is like a couple whose son ends his own life in a very religiously fanatic way and then they go and live on this island. It's a bit weird. That one's like a 3-star. Like there was no 2.5, 3-star. I don't really understand it. Yes, it was weird, but I wasn't obsessed. And then You'll Find It's Like That All Over was a very short, we're talking 20 pages, and it was a creepy story, but I just don't really get it. Same with the middle one, I didn't really get it, so that would have been another like 3-star. So overall I've given this 3 stars because I feel like I needed more of that first story, less of the others. But for me that is a fantastic rating for an Eric LaRocca because I have, as I said, DNF'd or 1-starred everything he's come out with, but this actual story, I still feel physically sick thinking about it, and that's going to stick with me forever. I don't need to keep this book because trust me, I will not forget that story, and I know it's pretty accessible everywhere anyway, but yeah, that made me physically uncomfortable, so glad I read that one. I then had the plan to read the entirety of A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow today. I've not yet started that, which little let down, but yeah, as I said, I've been doing life admin. I think that's all pretty much done now for the day, so I've got some lunch in the oven and then maybe I'll curl up with that book as my afternoon, but yeah, I think I'll probably end up finishing this today as well. So I definitely need to tell you about my reading. It is currently 20 to 8 on Sunday night and I've just had the urge to do some journaling. So I was going through these on Patreon sprints the other night. These are all of my current outstanding journals where I haven't got everything finished. There we go, that might be a better view. So what I've done is I have worked through every journal and written down what dates aren't completed. This is a bit of a longer list, you can't see it at the angle you're at. And I've just done a little line between to separate the journals. So this journal's only got 3 pages undone. But yeah, I'm gonna start from the beginning. My oldest unfinished date is the 26th of January, 2024. So yeah, I've still got like 20 odd pages to do in this journal, which it's been a long time. This one is old now. But something about journaling, I don't feel like I can leave pages completely unfinished. So I might talk you through a little bit of what I'm doing just to show you that I'm not completely crazy, because I'm not sat here writing essays about days from 2 years ago. But I realise I'm a little bit crazy. So yeah, I want to show you some of the stuff I'm doing. So I don't know how well this camera angle is going to work. Sorry, just excuse the picture of my little brother-in-law and excuse all of my crusty dusty stickers on my work screen. Going back to the Friday, the 26th of January, almost 2 years ago, I do have some notes in Frixon markers. These are the ones that you can literally like rub out with the end of the pen and things disappear. So yeah, I do have some notes through this journal in Frixon markers. I can go through and use these to write a few sentences. I do only write a few sentences when I'm going this far back. For example, when I went back and did this day, I literally typed some words that I wanted to include it and printed them and like stuck them in. So I'm just making sure there's not nothing on the pages. Again, another day where things are just printed. And on this day I had nothing to say, so I stuck a sticker of Shrek in and said, I've got nothing, have a Shrek. So I'm not being completely insane and writing essays about days from 2 years ago, but I just don't want to leave this unfinished. So 26th of January 2024, let's go. Okay guys, I won't tell you what day it is, but effectively I completely forgot to wrap up this vlog, and as you will see in next week's vlog, I forgot to take my camera away with me for work. So my camera and my books were sat on my side like ready to wrap up the vlog, and I went away without doing so. So here we are to wrap up the vlog. I will keep it very brief because it's been a little while since all this happened. The first book that I finished, and I haven't counted this as pages read on Project TBR Cleardown or anything like that, but I have counted it as a book because of how much reading it did involve, and that is Myrtle by G.T. Carber. And I'm not going to rate this. I don't think you can rate a puzzle book, but for a puzzle book, this is a 5-star. I really like the concept of this. It was a lot of fun. It really got my brain thinking. And yeah, like some days I ended up sticking paper in so that I could actually redo it because I'd got it wrong. I think that's actually puzzle number 100, so please don't pay attention to that. I may have just spoiled it. It is, it's number 100. But yeah, I did 100 puzzles in here, and I'm really proud of the fact I finished it. So I've included that as a book read, technically, but I've not counted the pages on my daily tracker. But I did finish that. I then unfortunately DNF'd a book. I really could not get into A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey. And this is mainly because, and maybe I wouldn't have had this issue as a teenager, but we are reading from Lila, or Leela, and she is from Miami and she's spending the summer in England. I obviously am in a unique situation where I am talking to Americans on a daily basis, and we have lots of conversations about how I will call something different to how they call it, or we do things a little differently, we have a different process for something. It's just part of normal everyday conversation for me. So for this teenage girl, I know it's a teenager, I'm really trying hard to be great about this, but for this teenage girl to fly to England and explain for like 100 pages how everyone is wrong and she is right and this is the way we do things, it was just a little bit aggravating. And maybe I would have been fine with this as a teenager, but as an adult I'm not going to put myself back through it, and unfortunately I did DNF it. I did put a good stint into this, but I just wasn't really liking it, so I have DNF'd this one. And then I have finished a book which was not on my TBR for the month. I finished the audiobook for Scarred by Emily McIntyre, and this is a very smutty romance. However, I had a good time with it. I was listening to the audiobook. I did say originally I listened to the audiobook for this one, and then I've gone back in and listened to it again. I did have a good time with it. I think I will up my rating from a 3 to a 3.5 just for a little bit of extra joy on this one. We'll see what happens when I get around to my wrap up. But yeah, there's nothing profound about this book. It's just smut, but we're going to put it in a historical fantasy setting. I believe it's supposed to be 1910 when this starts. But yeah, there's a secret rebellion against the king, but it's corn without, you know what I'm trying to say. That's all it is. Did I have a good time with it? Yes, I did though. So we'll leave it at that. Because I'm so far behind in this, I'm going to cut myself off now. But if you have watched this vlog to this point, please leave me the, crown emoji for the cover of this book. I know there is one. So please leave me the crown emoji if you got this far. I really appreciate you guys. You are definitely keeping me going every week. So thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. That being said, I'm going to head off. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.